Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Rich Hajdu with Media Technology Group, and with me I have Vern Freedlander from Bannister Lake. Bannister Lake is a company that does data-driven graphics, but I'd like to ask Vern to tell us a little bit about Bannister Lake and its history.
Yeah, thanks, Rich. It's great to be with you today to talk about Bannister Lake. So we've been around since 1994, and we have a very unique specialty in the broadcast world, which is we deal with real-time data, and we have software that aggregates and manages real-time data, and then allows that data to be completely controlled for editorial purposes, and then populate graphics. And those graphics can appear on any device, any kind of screen, anywhere. So we're specialists at managing real-time data and visualizing that content to any screen.
So, Vern, that's interesting, but doesn't anyone with a character generator do that? Why do I need a Bannister Lake solution instead
Right,
of just using my CG?
right. That's a great question. CGs are terrific at taking the odd data source and putting them into a ticker or into a graphic. But when you have to work with multiple diverse data sources from all kinds of different sources, like a mixture of weather, news, sports, even things like COVID-related data from public health agencies. Once you have a high number of data sources coming into a device, you need some sort of management tool, especially a management tool that can do things like schedule that data, edit it, parse it, query it. When that data really has to be massaged and used for editorial purposes, then you need something more sophisticated on the data side. We actually work with many different CGs and different graphic engines, but the management of real-time data is highly specialized, and we're the experts on that.
Great. That makes a lot of sense. So you do data-driven graphics using Chameleon. Does that mean lower thirds, L bars, election returns, school closings, news and sports tickers? And do I have to have different modules for each one?
We do all of it, and it's all self-contained in our one-stop solution, which is our Chameleon product. So our competitors will actually market and sell various modules. If you have to buy the weather module, that's one expense. Now you need the news module, that's another one, the social media module, et cetera, et cetera. What we've done is we have taken all of a broadcaster's needs for real-time data and put it under one product so that it's all controlled through Chameleon. So this way, if you're a producer or an engineer and you do have to create news graphics, lower thirds, tickers, it's all there under as one solution. So we're really excited about that, and really provides a lot of value to the end user.
So if I'm a TV station in Ohio where I live, I could do election returns, and that same Chameleon package would let me do school closings or Friday night high school football sports scores, all of that with one package.
Exactly, and actually much more. We also do on-air branding, for example, because on-air branding often requires a real-time data feed, or at least pulling data out of, let's say, a program schedule. So Chameleon is this one-stop solution for any of a broadcaster's need for real-time data. And of course, beyond things like school closings and lower thirds and news ticker type graphics, we do have a very robust election solution. So someone might think that all of these solutions are kind of watered down because it's all, under, one product.
Right.
But that's not the case. We have a very robust election solution that can work not just for US presidential elections, but can also work for parliamentary type elections like in Canada, and can also be used for proportional representation type elections in Europe as well. So we're really excited about the product. Like I said, it's a one-stop solution for anything required in the world of real-time data.
So for election returns, I could do federal presidential elections, state returns, county returns, local returns, school board elections, bond issues, any of that.
Absolutely. Propositions, referendums,
Right.
you name it, up ballot, down ballot, we can handle it all.
Great.
We work with some of the best election data providers available, like the Associated Press, DDHQ, as well as the various election consortiums in Canada. So we've got a really great election solution.
Great. So this is great. How do you design a graphic and tie it to a timed playout?
Right. So there's a few ways to do it. Chameleon comes with a product called Chameleon Designer, which is a piece of software used to actually create graphic templates and actually connect real-time data to those templates. And that works really well for web output. So this is another important point that, in addition to SDI and NDI kind of outputs, we can also output HTML5 to the web. So Chameleon Designer is a great tool for that. But we also work with all of the popular graphic engines, so ROS Expression, Chiron, VizRT, and using our Blade API, our RESTful API, which again is part of the Chameleon solution, we can actually take customized data sets that we've brought into Chameleon, create subsets of that data, and then use that to populate graphics in those popular graphic engines. So there's a couple of ways to do it, but the important thing to remember is that we're completely agnostic. We really aren't really concerned with what the output device is. Some devices we have tighter integration than with others, but because we have this really strong, effective RESTful API solution, we can actually send data to any of those graphic engines and populate graphics.
Great. How about if I don't have the hardware available? Is there a way that you can have Chameleon running on a PC with a video card so that it's totally independent from my character generator?
Yes, absolutely. So as I mentioned earlier, we work a lot on the web side of things. And so there's a built-in HTML5 renderer. So we can actually output to HTML5, and that is a great solution for things like web widgets, websites, mobile applications, OTT, for example. So we're trying to work on all platforms with this one solution, which again is something CGs have a lot of difficulty doing. So we're really trying to be a real-time data and graphics solution across all platforms simultaneously, by the way.
Right. And I understand you work with a Corvid card. So if I wanted an SDI output, but I didn't want to use my character generator, I could put a Corvid card in a PC, and that could become an SDI engine for Chameleon.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct.
So you have everything covered from IP, NDI, HTML, working with another graphics system, a standalone graphics system. It's all covered with Chameleon.
Yes, exactly. As I said, we're trying to be a solution that is across every platform for anybody, and not just broadcasts. For houses of worship, for people who are using websites, to communicate news and information. We're trying to cover all those bases, and we provide a great, robust solution for people that want to use real-time data to communicate more effectively with their audiences.
Right. And of course, I assume you work with automation systems, because typically, a TV station is going to trigger this using their automation, whatever it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we can integrate with most of the automation systems. We also have a very strong custom development side at Bannister Lake. So if we cannot connect to an automation system, we can certainly figure out how to do it and take full advantage of the station or network's automation system.
Right. Okay. And you did mention that that Chameleon is equally appropriate for broadcast and education, corporate, house of worship, any digital signage, any of those applications.
Right. Absolutely. So we bring the same kind of know-how and that mission critical, kind of approach that we use in broadcast to all those other markets as well. Real-time data has become a really important part of the communications mix, especially, during the pandemic, where public health agencies, for example, need to get information out. And those feeds come out as XML type feeds. So we can grab those, and then we can bring those into a digital signage system, or frankly, any platform at all that where the audience needs to get that information.
That's great. So Vernon, closing this, how about support and service?
Right. So we actually model our support after the Cisco TAC approach. Emergency type support calls get responded to in about 15 minutes. Historically, support response is about 2 hours, for the non-emergency type inquiries. So we have a very strong ticketed system for support, and we're very effective in that regard.
Right, because you guys do, most of your work is on-air broadcast, so you understand the importance of serving that market.
Absolutely. Years of experience working on things like elections and live sporting events where the system just has to work all the time and has to work perfectly.
Right, right. Well, Vern, thanks a lot. You told us a lot about Bannister Lake and Chameleon, and we know where to get more information. I'm Rich Hajdu with Media Technology Group, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you.